because it's time to do the live Q&A. So we've got one question right here from Anne Mariah, and she says, how do you get together working from home? So just a very practical question, but interesting, of course.
Yeah, tricky question. I don't know if you've heard about the Swedish term fika. Do you know about that? It's fika.
Yeah,
It's a typical Swedish thing. You take a cup of coffee and you take a small biscuit, and then you sit and chat. So fika is more like come together, a small meeting over coffee, and we do fika pauses every day. So we meet with
every day.
With a team.
Yeah. And how long does that meeting take?
10 or 15 minutes, maybe. It's just to get to talk about something else than just work.
So that's why you do that.
Well. Yeah.
Cool. So I hope you've answered Anne Mariah's question. So you say do fika every day.
Yeah.
What time? What would be a good time to do that?
In the afternoon. So you have some blood sugar. So at 3:00, I would say.
3:00, 3 p.m. Yeah. That's good to know. I hope we've answered Anne Mariah's question. I've got a question from someone else in the industry who I mentioned that we will be doing this. And he said, it's Bart from the Netherlands. And he said, is it hard to get the data, the right data, or is it harder to do the right analysis based on the data?
The tricky question. I would say getting the data. I mean, get the right data and make sure it's reliable. It's super tricky. And doing the analysis is more or less doing it by the book. If you have the statistics, you have the programming and some common sense, you'd be fine. But many times the analysis failed because we cannot get the data. For example, if we want to analyze print reader behavior, that would be super easy if we just had the data on print readers, but we don't.
Do you have workarounds for
that? We look at the e-paper. That's the at least it's similar behavior, I would say.
Yeah, the e-paper.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But of course, analyzing that could be hard too. Sometimes you try to find patterns that doesn't exist, or you try to find some kind of logic in reader behavior when there is no logic, because people sometimes act in a way that you can't explain, not even with data.
Yeah. Well, that's a good question. And there's a new question from Tom. Let's put this on as well. What are the key tools you use for your data gathering and analysis? What tools do you wish you had? So 2 questions there.
Oh, wow. Data gathering, we have a data lake. So we gather all the data in a lake, and we
data
use
lake.
And we use Google BigQuery. But I also do Python and R sometimes, and Google Analytics sometimes.
Those are programming languages, R and Python, you say, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
And what tools I wish I had? We build most of our tools ourselves, but
is there a particular reason for that you build it yourself?
Being independent, I would say, and be able to customize, really to get the KPIs that we want, and to be able to change when we feel that KPIs or the visualization doesn't work anymore or so.
But you're with Dagens Nyheter, you're part of the Bonnier group, right? Bonnier News Group.
Yeah.
So do you exchange tools with different titles, different papers?
At least I'm part of a team that build editorial tools, and we scale the tools that we build so that it could be used within the entire group.
Yeah. Okay. I hope we've answered the next questions as well. The tools you wish you had, did you answer? Yeah, you.
Right now, I would sometimes try to build a tool that can predict what kinds of topics that are popping or that are like that our readers are interested in but cannot find at our site, for example.
Yeah.
That would be cool to build, I'd say.
So how do you work around this sort of challenge at this point?
Right now we are more like reactive rather than proactive. So we like can only handle it when there's like when we have written something about it, or of course we can look at like Google searches or searches and try to find things that we haven't written about yet. But yeah, it's tricky.
So you're looking for a sort of predictive demand, not just predictive, but to get sort of the actual demand. So what are people? What's the intent of the search, or what are they? What kind of?
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
That's it's good to know. I hope we've answered Tom's question. You've answered Tom's question. He says, "Got to run," but thanks both. Super interesting. Looking forward to more episodes. Thank you, Tom. That's nice to hear.